Hi, I'm Ashley Cannon Newell, and this week I have a video tutorial to share how to doodle with your stamps using pens. And I'm going to be creating this card and just show you how you can use little pens to make outline artistic kind of sketch designs on your cards. I hope you like it. Okay, so today's video is inspired by this particular card right here. I made this for the February 2015 Paper Trains release, and this is one of those techniques or designs that just kind of came about. I wasn't intending to do this. I just went with the flow and let my artistic and creativity abilities just flow from my hands pretty much, and I went for it. So what I encourage you all to do this week for this week's video, or if you see this later after this week, is to venture out, take risk, and see what comes about. The worst that could happen is it may end up in the trash, but sometimes those projects don't end up in the trash. You actually end up really liking them. And I wasn't sure how this card was going to be received because of the sketch nature of it, the artistic kind of look, combined with stamps and watercoloring. So I'm glad you guys liked it, and I'm here today to share with you, or actually show, how I'm going to do it. I'm pretty much going to replicate this card just so you guys can see this particular stamp set, which is called Enclosed Flower. And as you can see, here is a very simply designed stamp set. It has the petals here. I use this petal and this petal only, and this center part. These are the only three stamps I use, along with, I used, of course, some sentiments on this card here. But just from three little stamps, how I designed this card, along with a pen, which I'll show a little bit later. But you can do this with anything, okay? I did it also with this, on this card. As you can see here, I sketched around the church images and Petite Places Church, and this is something that, like I said, is easy to do with almost any stamp. What you're looking for with the stamp is that it doesn't already have like a black stroke around, well, I shouldn't say black, some sort of detailed stroke around it. And even if it does have one, you can really go over it if you're not using the black ink. So the key is to not use a black ink when stamping, okay? Because you're going to use a black ink to go over it with your sketches. So flower stamps work really good, but also non-flower stamps can work. It's really up to you. So I'm just going to go ahead and put this to the side. I already, for the sake of time, I already have one already pre-stamped. Okay, and I already have I just stamped this on watercolor paper, flattened it back out. I watercolored it just using this watercolor brush pen. This is, I believe, by Pentel. It says it's by Pentel. Okay, just a watercolor brush pen. It looks like this, and I just kind of just go over it, the areas not being particular whatsoever. And I think that's the best part about creativity, is that you're not being very meticulous, detail, or perfectionist about your designs. You're just kind of just going with it. As far as pens, what I'm going to suggest using are micron pens, but you can use also, what I used on my other card was this Copic multi-liner pen. And these microns are Sakura, this is Copic. So the thing which you need to be careful about is the water and Copic proof. That's the thing is this one is also pigment ink for waterproof and fade proof. Okay, so those are the things. Another thing to look for is the actual point here, the tip that's on these pens. Can't see there, but if you see that little tip there, this is 0.3, and that's going to determine what kind of stroke you have when you do your sketches. So I have here 005. That's going to be very, very, I'm sorry, this 005 is a 0.20 millimeter. This 01 is a 0.25 millimeter. This 0.3 is a 0.035, and this 0.2 is a 0.30. So it just depends on the stroke that you want. So sometimes I like very fine lines, so you can start here. So what you want to do here is just follow the lines of the actual stamp images. So I'm going to go ahead and start on the larger petal first, and then I'll work my way in and add details as I go along. So I hold my pen funny. I know I use kind of a funny grip there, but you just kind of want to just free flow like that. Don't have to, it doesn't have to be perfect lines. Okay, so I kind of left that one open so then I go over the yellow flower there. So you can kind of see in here how faint the lines are. All right, I'm going to show you. This one is 0.20 millimeters. So I'm going to go up a little bit to 0.25 just so you guys can just get an idea of how it looks. So you can see it's a little bit more defined there. I personally like the 0.20 the best, but this one gives you a more of a marker kind of look. This one gives you more of a fine tip sketch look. And I like to go over it really with this one with more of my details. So I'm gonna go ahead and finish. Okay. And there's really no messing up with this. It's just, you know, if your lines don't connect, guess what? We can go back over that in a minute. All right, so now I'm gonna kind of work on the inside detail flower here. Again, doing the same type of sketching, following the shape of the actual petals here. And my pen is going out just a little bit, but that's fine. I'm adding a little bit too much pressure. I'm such a fine, so you don't want to add too much pressure there. So I'm going to switch pens and go to my next one. Because I'm applying a little bit too much pressure. So I'm going to apply lighter pressure using this one. And so, you know, with my watercoloring, some things got a little bit smudged, or the definition kind of got lost, which is what you want sometimes with watercoloring. So the thing about it is, with the sketching technique, you can bring it all back. All right, so now what I'm going to do is kind of just show you how I'm going to add a little bit of detail. So I'm just going to go around here and go around the circle. So as you can see, I'm not going to do a perfect circle there, and that's okay. I'm not even doing a full stroke around the whole thing. I'm picking up my pen along the way and doing it like that. You can always go back over any area you want to go over. Like if I want to go over these petals again, do that. It just gives it a more of a sketchy look too. All right, and kind of fill in. Okay. kind of go back over any area. And those areas, if you go outside the line, they look even better when you go back over them a second or third time. Okay. And you can pretty much stop here if you want. It just depends on how much detail you want to add to your flowers, but I start having such a good time that I end up keep going for a little bit longer. Okay, so another thing that I like to do is just kind of add something that makes it a little bit more realistic. So a lot of times in flowers you see stamens and they kind of have little stripes. So I'm just kind of add that and fill in these little gaps between these detail part. And all I'm doing is adding stroke lines, just lines, short, medium, long, just lines. I'm doing it in the middle. You can do this you can do this on all parts of the flower, really. Okay, so I like to go and do the center first, these little holes first, and then come back and fill in any areas that I want to fill in later. So now that I did that section, if I want to go in and do the center part, I'll do that now. Just adding a little bit around the flowers. Kind of makes you think of the detailed stamps for step 2 for Rosy Posy. So, and you can do this kind of sketching concept. It won't have the same sketch look, but you can do this with your Copic markers as well and add other colors. Okay, I'm really just sketching it out there. Okay, so you want to just add, I'm just really just freestyling here at this point. Like I said, you could have stopped, you know, you thought, she's doing a little bit too much. It's really up to you, and that's the best thing about this thing, that no two, you know, designs are going to be alike, you know, and we all have all these same stamps, and that's great, but when you add your own little touch, artsy flair to it, it really makes it cool. I like dots and stripes a lot, so I'll go in and add little dots, which I'm going to use 0.35 millimeter marker now because I want my dots to kind of stand out. Okay, so now I'll add a few little dots around the actual flower center here. Just something that is something that I do when I doodle a lot. So you can just kind of do whatever you want there. Another thing that I have done on the other card is add a border. And with this card, it's kind of full, so really it's not that much space for a border. But just to show you how I do it, you just kind of freehand a line like that. And if you just freehand this line just like this, it just adds a little border like that. And then, of course, I'd add my little dots. And add extra little here. And that's it. Thanks so much for watching this week's video. I hope you'll get out your stamps and pens and doodle on your cards. For Paper Tray Ink, I'm Cannon Newell. Bye.